Melee weapons aren't always about swords and maces. They're spears as well, and today we're going to count down the Terraria top 5 spears. As always, feel free to share your top 5 down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Spears are great for not only keeping enemies at distances, but certain kinds actually launch projectiles as well that help out a ton. I'm going to count down the top 5 higher rank spears as of patch 1.3. So with that, let's go ahead and get started at number 5. The Mushroom Spear has a base damage of 60 with a very slow speed. It can be purchased from the Truffle Merchant for 70 gold as of patch 1.2.3. But this thing is actually pretty helpful. As you're using it, it actually summons little spinning mushrooms that cause moderate damage. These mushrooms only hang around for 1 second, but they can help out in a pinch, though unfortunately they don't deal piercing damage. This is actually a great weapon to use if you're on the run, because the mushrooms will actually give you backup as you're going along. Spear may be a little bit pricey, but still it can't be overlooked. Number 4. The Scourge of the Corruptor can be had by getting a corruption key and going to the hard mode dungeon post Plantera, getting it out of the corruption chest. It has a base damage of 64 with a very fast speed, but the biggest thing is this launches little tiny eaters that come out and do extra damage for the player, that eventually split into 2 to 4 smaller eaters on impact with blocks or enemies. These little mini eaters actually have homing capabilities, which means they will latch on to the nearest enemy up to 700 feet. You can actually ricochet up to 5 times before disappearing. This can be one of the most potent spears on this list. Number 3. While it may be called the Obsidian Swordfish, it's nothing but it is actually used as a spear. Go figure. The Obsidian Swordfish does a base damage of 90 and is very fast. Now, unlike the rest of the spears, it's actually a pretty short weapon, but it actually has a 24% chance of crit, which is amazingly high compared to the rest, though it can only be obtained through fishing using the hotline fishing hook in lava. While this is considered a hard mode weapon, you don't have to necessarily be in hard mode to get it, though you can only get the hotline fishing hook in hard mode itself. Number 2. The North Pole does 73 base damage with a fast speed. It's dropped by Ice Queens in the Frost Moon event and was one of the highest DPSing spears in game. The biggest thing about this spear was that it actually launched projectiles, which also dropped snowflakes as it went along. Now, the projectiles were affected by gravity, but still, the snowflakes helped along with extra damage, and it was possible to use those projectiles and snowflakes to cause a ton of damage against mobs like bosses. If you were able to angle the projectile at the proper way, you were able to get the snowflakes to fall just right. Though you also have to be careful though, because weather can play a part in how they fell as well. While it may not be at the top, the North Pole still is something that a lot of people love. And finally, number 1. Crafted using 18 solar fragments, the Daybreak is the new boy on the block with patch 1.3. It has a very fast speed with 150 base damage. It's considered a throwable melee, but it's still melee to say the least, and it is still very powerful. When throwing these at an enemy, the stock spears do 100 damage per second and stack up to 8 times, which means it's possible to get 800 damage a second on a mob. That's insane. What's also pretty wild as well is that these give off a pretty decent amount of light, which can be very helpful for exploring or finding ores if need be. If you're very good with aim, this can help you a lot in the fight with the Moon Lord, as these can actually damage the eyes for a fairly decent chunk, as well as the heart also. This leaves the Daybreak sitting pretty high on the list. Thank you friends and elements for watching. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If so, please be sure to rate it. As always, share your top 5 spears down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. New viewers, be sure to subscribe for more Terraria top 5s, gameplays, as well as other videos coming out as well. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and if not, then just simply fake it, and I'll see you again next time.